Back with Adrienne, back in the red chair. I will admit that this is being recorded on Monday, April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, a day I never, ever like participating in. Participating? Is like a what? I didn't care to participate in any type of April foolery. I have no sense of humor, absolutely zero sense of humor. So I'd rather stay in, away from all that going on out there, those shenanigans. Glad that I'm retired, don't have to go into work and worry. Boy, just despise April Fool's Day. Oh, well, the only reason I really brought it up was because if it were to be said, aha, Adrienne, April Fool's Day. Earlier today, I had recorded a 45-minute haul of 3 Dollar Tree stores that I had been to since last week, Thursday? Yeah, last week, Thursday and Friday. Oh, I just hate when people do this. Like, you don't care the dates. You just want to get on with it. So, last weekend-ish, because now it's Monday. So last weekend-ish, I went Friday and Saturday. And then I went again to one I hadn't been to on Sunday by myself. The other, I went, there we go again. Babble, 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 brook. Babble, 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 brook. Oh, center yourself. I went by myself on Friday. I went with my daughter-in-law on Saturday. And Sunday I went by myself because I could. That's how it all worked out. That's Dollar Tree. Man, it's because I'm recording this for second time. It's second time, people. This happens to the best of us, but this best of us, what happened? I deleted it. It's when I do like, oh, I didn't like that, and I'll start over. Oh, I don't like that one either, and I'll start over. Well, what happens is I can go see the photo side of what had been the camera. And in my photos, very small little squares, because that's like what the idea of editing is to me, is trying to see where that one square is and the other isn't, blah, 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 blah. End result, finding ones to delete correctly and delete, and I seem to always know in my gut that I've just done it, because obviously I've done it before. And I went back because I had one that it looked like it had frames to it, but it ended really quickly. And in fact, at the end of it is because Miss Sassy was meowing really loud. I took a deep breath and I had said, I'm going to need to stop this. So that one won the space that the other one should have owned. And I said, well, my dear, we can recreate a bit. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and show you all of the items I have that were more or less non-pantry, non-food. So let's go ahead and see, what did I find? First and foremost, absolutely love this color. This is nice. A really pretty, that's your nylon, that's your mylar inside. That helps create it to be, we say waterproof, but you know, in theory really it's water resistant, people. What a nice shape. Little rectangle, very high on the sides there, very high. And the length is very nice also. You can see that. Wow, that's a big rectangle. Well, I love the webbed handle with matching to the nylon, matching to the other color of nylon going around. This is just really pretty. I so appreciate when something is so nicely done with a turquoise zipper also. That's a lot of touches to put together for something that retailed for $1.25. It is referred to as an 8x6 lunch buckety thing. That's why they have the mylar in them. Well, if that's the case, I'd have this as a very affordable version of a food saver. I could have zucchinis in there, cucumbers, think of potatoes and onion, anything that you might want to be putting into the refrigerator for it to have a much longer shelf life, because you live alone and you need a much longer shelf life. This could be used for all those things. I have one that I spent for me a lot of money, just under $5, and it's a celery one. Same principle. Nylon outside, mylar inside. It has a drawstring, and it will keep celery edible for 2 weeks. They can be very useful. Darling, precious. I don't know which use I shall make of it, but I knew there would be a use. So, first item down on the rewind. Okay, now I bought 2 of these, one at one and one at the other. They're found in the automotive section. They're by Tool Bench Hardware storage cases. Go figure, of course, in the men's aisle is something that the women could definitely make use of. These have a fantastic amount of grid space in different sizes. Just, that's your little grippy so it doesn't slip. Got the grippies. Just click that open, and then inside, look at these 2 really long. Here's another long one. And then these here, that is going, it's trying to 1.5 inches deep, perhaps. Well, you're just not necessarily finding that on Temu when we can't relate necessarily to the dimensions going this way and that way and that way and in centimeters and some of them / inches, and it's not even an inch. By then you're so confused. You're like, how big is it? Well, I wanted to organize my rings, and as we know, my rings can have some size to them. The jewels, the accoutrements that make them, each and every one of them, individual. But they need a deeper space than what I could be guaranteed of. After all, I had bought one and was so satisfied with it, I knew I wanted more. So again in the automotive aisle at your Dollar Tree. And this is what it looks like, or can look like. See that? The good depth. You can see the rings so easily. When you have this many, and they're all in one, I had them all in a miniature lunchbox tin. And they were just all piled in together along with some others, you know, rings that weren't of the metal variety. I have my metal variety of rings in separate containers. So you can just see how fabulous this is. It makes my heart sing to be like, today, okay, on this round, what blues do I want to wear? And we had the blues here, and we have blues here, and we have it on my fingers, on both hands, including some metal on this hand. Fantastic. Isn't it terrific to be able to see it organized? I am stoked. And then, of course, they're just little works of art. Those colors, the shapes, the transparencies, the opaques, the ones with some bling. Marvelous. It's like a kaleidoscope. Wow, cool beans. No, it's not that I'm easily entertained. That was pretty, and it was like a kaleidoscope. Well, most definitely, metal rings may need two. I'm just not sure. We'll see. Definitely one, and then one to spare to see where it's really needed. Yay! Okay, glad I got to show and tell you that. Now, this is Value Health. I think that's a brand seen on the shelves often. And within that, you know, we do all look for, if it says like a Greenbrier or something. And these are Spirit Pharmaceuticals, distributed by GlaxoSmithKline. I've heard of GlaxoSmithKline or whatever I just said. I've heard of them as a company, you know, like, oh yeah, maybe. I'm not making it up. This is what happens. You never know it in your life, and then you hear something, you're like, I have heard that before. That's layering of learning and knowledge and digging back, trying to find the information. It really is there. Something can trigger, though. Well, they are comparing their product here to the same as Extra Strength Gas X, which means 125 milligrams of simethicone. I always worry, do I really mean milligrams? Yeah, mg. Extra strength anti-gas. Well, I take these daily. You can take 2 to 4 without any problem as an adult, because that is the IBS cramp. It can start, kind of be a little bit like a side pain. Did you ever have a side pain when you were a kid that we called a stitch? Oh, I've got a stitch in my side. Ah, yeah, that's what we used to say for real. Well, my IBS, gas, bloat, and pains will come like a stitch in my side and either start bubbling along the intestines, small or large, gosh only knows, and uncomfortableness. And uncomfortableness, especially on my left-hand side. That's the dominant side that gets discomfort. I wonder if that's because the stomach is closer to that side. Oh, where's my medical books? Where's my medical drawings? Where's my little life person? Back to the box at hand. I bought this to show you because you would know that you can get this at Dollar Tree. Anytime we can get the same effective medication that is in a name brand like Gas-X, 125 milligrams of simethicone, it's the common denominator in all of the Gas-X type of products. These wonderfully are soft gels, a little green soft gel tablet, and you do get 15. Keep this in your desk, in your tote bag, in your gym bag. Have you ever started getting like crampies type of stuff after working out and all? It just says, calm me down, calm me down. Highly, highly recommend. I've been taking simethicone for a bazillion years because I've had IBS for a bazillion years. And if I didn't have the simethicone, I would be really in pain and unhappy because when I need it, I need it. It's definitely something I take daily, but how many times a day would be what is most concerning. I've talked about at Bi-Mart. It is a locally owned small chain. It's owned by the employees. And so when you see that they have some products that have their Bi-Mart name on them, that means it's for the good of everybody in the company to get something that is affordable and needed. So again, they're saying Gas-X, all the same words, relieves discomfort. Isn't that all you need to hear? Relieves discomfort. That's all I need to hear because discomfort means we're getting towards nearing to have to lay flat on the lounge while caressing. Caressing. Always massage in a circular motion. In the Portuguese way in Hawaii when I was younger, it was that you kept turning the stomach, moving it around and turning it. And it really did help because what it's really doing is you're moving around what could be in the intestines. So you're kind of like loamy that, and breaking up any gas blockages and such. So we have to know how to help soothe our bodies when they are in distress on something that becomes just very common every day for ourselves. These are the exact same little pill, green gel capsule that's in this brand here at Dollar Tree. So most of you won't have a Bi-Mart, and I don't know if you have any other type of stores of that situation that may be able to have a house brand on something that normally costs like $15. And even at Kaiser, their version of offering you a affordable other than Gas-X and name brands is a Kaiser packaged brand of simethicone, but they are round dry pills. No thank you. If I can get into a coated pill amongst the 11 pills that I take a day, yeah, and a lot of those 11 are dry. So, and we have the cotton mouth, we have the medications that give us cotton mouth. It's just one litany, isn't it? One big dry litany. Okay, so we had show and tell. See, that's the good news of having done away with my Dollar Tree haul. Bring it back, people. Bring it back. We're just bringing back the non-food items and such as it were. This I had bought once before and shown you, and was on the lookout for them again because when my niece visited Portland on our little vacation at the hotel with her, this was part of the gifts I brought her. Being brought up in Japan, we followed what was a Japanese style of travel is you always have an omiyagi, small gift. Omiyagi, small gift. So I had some omiyagis for her, and it included, I mean, come on, this is phenomenal. Resilient, confident, positive. Doesn't get better than that. I would be buying up a stash of these, and when you go to have coffee at a friend's house, you take this along as a hostess gift. Any occasion you're over to the friend's house on something, bring it as a hostess gift. Because having that sentiment right in the bastion of what before would have just been considered, you know, woman's work area, the kitchen. You weren't chefs, you were cooks. She said, And I do never get over that Dollar Tree gives you 2 good, thick pot holders for one price. For one good price. I don't like oven mitts. They're too clunky. And the more I have the feelings of the arthritis, I have to be able to grab certain ways, and I feel clumsy in those gloves. Never did really like them. For some reason, I always thought about the oven mitt glove. I was afraid, like, ooh, if I put my hands in there, what's in there? See, in Hawaii, what we could have worried about was a cockroach. Oh my gosh, we did call them 747s. 747s. 2-inch long cockroaches, and they could fly. None of your little palmetto bugs or whatever y'all call it from Florida and stuff like that. No, we had the 747s, flying cockroaches. You haven't lived. Shall I tell you sometime in the future my story of how I had my little calypso top on a peg in the bathroom? Went to take it down to go put it on, go to hands in, because calypso ties in the front, went to go, and I felt, honestly, people, I did. I felt I would just scream, me this thing off, mother effer. Scared the farkin' whoopee out of me. Oh, if I were a cat, that would definitely have been one life. Yeah, so creepy things like that could happen. And that was the jokes I'd make when I'd live in condominiums in the islands and such. It'd be like, yes, because the bugs can't push the elevator button. Okay, so my goodness, all of that over giving a beautiful hostess gift. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I've not seen this before. Crest Pro Health. This little white box. I don't imagine it's travel size. It does look like it could be what would have been a travel size. But I had another one that I put in a bag to go over to my little family's house for my son, who's been just having oral surgery and such. So this says Pro Health. It is gum detoxify, and says up to 72 hours. No, 24 hours. Oh, well, wishful thinking. But we'd rather be 24 hours than no hours of protection. And thus it is telling us neutralizes plaque bacteria, even around the gum line for 24 hours. When you wake up in the morning and older you get, your gums are receding some away from the teeth, and you just see that little white scuzz, little white scuzzy. Well, that's what you're there to brush away. That's your plaque. And enough plaque that gets to sit there without being brushed away, which is why we're supposed to brush for 2 minutes. then that plaque becomes hard and builds up on itself and ruins the gum line and can cause gum disease, and that's the gingivitis. Gingivitis, that's what it says. This is a deep, clean, fluoride toothpaste, anti-cavity, and anti-gingivitis. Okay, you say that 3 times. I'd already said it well, at least the first 2 times. So little one like this, but it does a very specific job for your gums and such like that. So it's not your everyday toothpaste. It is to augment your oral hygiene. Yeah, augment that hygiene. Grabbed a full pack of AA batteries. I had my electricity went out the other day for over 5 hours. I was awake for 5 hours, so that's how it went up until it didn't turn back on until 11 a.m. And I'm not sure how long it was before I woke up that the electricity had gone off. Perhaps I'd had an announcement on my phone or something, and that brought me out of slumber. However, whatever, the fact was, to have been out of electrical power for that amount of time, wasn't real happy for the refrigerator and the freezer. Had some, ham, chicken. We shall see. Within that, I have my little flashlights. I should have brought one over. It's always, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And I have one in the bathroom, as well as on the kitchen counter above the lounge. What if my rechargeable batteries were not recharged? Do they always sit in the little recharger case? Do you just keep that plugged in? Another endless glowing light of a plugged-in electronic? Because we don't really know how much do they drain of the power when they're not used. It's a cycle. I think this was a cycle that I didn't understand way back when it was the hip of the hip to most definitely be doing elaborate setups of recyclable, chargeable, I should say, rechargeable batteries. Oh, anyhow, made me stop to think. Don't know that the rechargeable ones are going to be there and in really good form to last. Better have the old-fashioned kind that does come with all this good juice in it and will probably last you. A pack like this would last me for most any blackout that we'd had. The blizzard blackout, gee, was that 17 hours? Well, it was at least 12 to 15. So I picked up another collection. So I advise always make sure you do have some, ready to go AA and AAA batteries, as well as having a setup of rechargeable. In particular, I'm looking to use the rechargeable ones in some of my little extra lights to light up my life. No, I don't do that. Any of those things you have to give. I'm talking about the little light squares for recording. They suck up batteries. They suck up. So I know I have one that takes the AA and I have one that takes AAA. Fine and dandy. This I saw on the shelf and I just was like, pretty, pretty. It just called my name. Pretty, pretty. And precious. The whale's going to tell you a little bit of something, like it's a kid or younger product. It's lavender and chamomile, or chamomile, however you want to say it. This is Pure and Gentle Baby Oil Gel, hypoallergenic, diphosphates and paraben free. Baby love, I need you, oh how I need you, yeah, I need you. Well, this, oh, I just blobbed out a whole big blob on the front. On the front of the leopard. Well, that'll go to show you. Okay, the texture is quite nice. It becomes very, very, very liquid because it is a thin, oily gel. And let's get it off of there and onto our hands. Yes, yes. Very cool and refreshing, and partially that's a huge bummer because I am crispy, dry skinned, dermatology tested. But I'm always cold, so the last thing I want to do is exposing large swaths of skin and limbs to lotion up. The lotion's cold, the air is cold, I'm cold. Is there anything about that sound pleasant? No, I didn't think so. Didn't think so at all. Okay, so this has a nice enough smell, and look, it goes in very, very quickly for that hydrating absorption. And I'm very pleased that we were able to get the majority off of the front of the leopard, which had just recently been videoed for you to see on my Goodwill haul. Goodwill hunting, absolutely. So delicious. Well, it smells good. I don't know about delicious. All right, this had been in a hygienically sealed plastic on cardboard from the beauty department. It is a teardrop shaped piece of silicone. It's got some happy sparklies embedded. I love the silicone to use as my makeup blender, blending it in. For me, the best way to get my foundation look as if it's married to my face, that it's so blended with my skin and pores that it's not screaming, extra lines, we're filling in your little lines. It's all about pressing it in, taking that extra time. Absolutely. And they didn't have the other one that I wanted. Twisted Gypsy had hauled, and I managed to get to a Dollar Tree and find one. And it is a thing that has in the egg-shaped foam sponge, makeup sponge. It has a teardroppy shape like this, incorporated and then sponge around. So you can just use that one portion, which is really easy to hold with all that sponge, to do this part, and then still have sponge. But there weren't any at either one of the Dollar Trees on this haul time, so I did pick up this one, and I'm very pleased to have it. Very pleased to have it. Again, it's the silicone that I like, and that is silicone, isn't it? Oh, silicone. I thought I had 2 of these. Oh, I think I already put one away. I had 2 boxes of Hydration Energy. Well, I call it hydration. Well, I know it dehydrates because it has caffeine. 80 milligrams of caffeine per serving, right? Are you saying per serving, not per box? Oh, wouldn't that be something? Well, I wonder. let's try and look at that. 80 milligrams of caffeine starred. So where is the star that's supposed to expound upon that statement? Okay, well, maybe that star, so it's per serving, and a serving is one pack. They call them sticks of flavor. So this is green apple. Green apple is the place to be when you're thirsty, thirsty like me. Green apple. Love to still hear the sound of ice, especially in flavored waters that we make. I just find to be colder to be more refreshing and palatable. So 10 calories. Okay, cool beans. I'm interested in the caffeine energy aspect just because it has my words. Energy. Caffeine energy. All right. Oh, I didn't buy them the last time I was at any Dollar Tree, but the siren's call came and I answered it. Big, fluffy vanilla marshmallows with an enormous chunk of chocolate stuffed into every one of them. And I'm promising you that that is true. Now, I have not tried putting it into the air fryer to kind of melt it and make it look like roasted marshmallow. I don't know if that's what it would do. I would love it to do that. Well, they're showing it, air fry it. Well, they're, because they're showing it, s'mores, make s'mores. I don't want s'mores. I don't want any. I don't want some more. I'm telling you. I don't like graham crackers. So, you gotta make a dessert thingy with a basis of a flavor that I don't care for. But I mostly got these for the word chocolate. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So a little sweet tooth action there. Wanted to have a starchy side dish meal in a bowl, as I would always call my kind of choice of type of food. I just want a bowl. I want it to be a big bowl of something that my fork or my spoon and all gets a good hunka and fills my mouth. I'm like a chipmunk, you know, rabbit, chipmunk, squirrel. I know you wish you could do that. I'm so sorry. It's my little talent, I guess. Well, we've all heard of Knorr, at least I have, from younger times when on budgets and this and that. We're talking like the 60s and such. This was a treat. This was a real treat to be able to buy Knorr type products or Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. And we lived in San Francisco. So, all right. This container is got 2.5 servings. 2.5 servings. And that factors out to about 280 overall calories. You have a good 6% of your daily fat needs, very low cholesterol, sodium, you're going to get 29% of your needs. And that's in a serving, that's not in a package. Fiber, 2 grams of fiber and 4 grams of sugar and 8 grams of protein. So again, here you have a dry product and it's telling you, I've got protein for you. I've got protein. So remember, in our quest to make sure that we do get enough protein without having to eat a lot of meat sources to be that protein. Keep reading your labels and be blown away on the amount of protein in so many items you never really would have associated it with. But this just sounds like a groovy meal in a bowl. Again, that's how I prefer to eat. Let's say I had a little bit of chicken, I could throw it into the air fryer and then cruddy it up and throw it into the meal in bowl. Could add some broccoli, nice green broccoli florets, always brighten up a plate, and add the much needed, is that a charcuterie? Never could say the word, whatever that word means, the broccoli and the cauliflower, that is one of those vegetable words that means, yeah, eat it every day, be good. Go for it every day. Just like corn, forget it. Admit you're eating nothing. Corn, really, no, you're not getting a really vegetable. You're not really getting. But I'm gonna eat my corn as much as anybody else because we grew up as corn being our number one vegetable favorite next to the French fry. Okay. This does say no artificial flavors or preservatives and no MSG. Two things that I appreciate, and that I would clock that up to. Nor I always thought was not a local. Nor, doesn't it sound like it's like a foreign country food that came to America? C'est la vie. That's another foreign country. C'est la vie. All right, just picked me up another shelf-stabilized milk. They come in whole milk, 2% milk, which is the nutritionists telling you this is the one to buy. In infancy, that should be about the last time that children are being served whole milk. It's too fatty. You don't need that much fat in their diets. And we're not running around fields and playing actively and burning that stuff off like we could. So, 2%, and it also comes in skim. I use this 2%. I have to have milk every morning to go in my tea. I drink my tea English style, and that means the right amount of milk, a splash. Well, you'll have to see what my splash and your splash translate to in actual measurement. But I never, ever, ever have to run out of milk by having shelf-stabilized milk. And my morning tea is very, very ritualistically important to me. Just for the warmth of it, the idea that it's tea, it's the closest thing that was the first and foremost thing probably I learned from my mother, as she was an English war bride, and she'd have us be making tea, what would be considered child endangerment today. Hey baby, it's gotta be boiling water to make correct English cup of tea. Boiling water, hitting the tea bag, unfurling the tea inside. Yes, they use tea bags in the UK, all over England. They don't have to have loose tea anymore. It's in convenient little bags, so it's still unfurling. Yeah. So picked up one of those, like to have 6 on hand, I must say. And they're mostly good till 2025, I thought. Am I going crazed or for 25? January of 2025. Phantasmagorical. All right. Well, we're at 44 minutes. I'm going to call it. People. I am so glad that I ate let all the nice food get into me and make me feel robust and awake and alert, so that I could record this tonight after having deleted the one that I filmed earlier. And this time I managed to make it last the same 45 type of minutes without showing any of the food things. Oh, I think it's because I brought in the show and tell comparisons. I think that helped with that. But I also hope that you enjoyed that. These are extra type of things that it's fun to do as a hauler. Show ya, gonna show ya. I'm like, oh, really? My strap is over my ear? How attractive. Always from your local Dollar Tree. You know, these I've had. This set I think I've had about 2 years. Enough already. No one cares that you've had your flowers for 2 years. Of course they care. They wouldn't be watching if they didn't care. So please care enough to subscribe. That's just pushing that button down below. A thumbs up. That's your thumbs. Thumbs up, please. Appreciate it. And a comment is always appreciated and viewed and thrilled that you have left a comment. Even, I mean, a comment can be just an emoji to show that you've been there, because that one simple, taking that moment out of your time to add to your viewing repertoire here is really appreciated. I'm sure you just want to move right along. Move along, people. Move along. Nothing to see here. Move along, people. All right. Now that I'm all peppy, really shouldn't be drinking the energy water this into my bedtime hours. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You're my family. In this venue, we are family. All of my sisters and me will take the brothers. We are family. Yeah, ta, 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 ta. Come and visit with me.